Beautiful, bustling Budapest, the capital of Hungary, the vibrant city, full of culture and history. Hungary also has a rich chess history, one full of great players. Now it hosts one of the world's most storied chess events, the Chess Olympiad. Every 2 years, players from almost 200 nations gather in one place. Their goal? Win glory for the...
This is going to be up to the chess gods today.
It really is.
Caruana, Pragnananda versus a quiet Wesley. So quiet in person.
The situation is India, USA goes wild. Who scores that win?
You're asking impossible questions to predict.
Games today. I see you guys in chat as well. Which board 4 do you want to clinch the win? Anish!
All right. You will offer the handshake after Vidit is done. Levon, very colorful. You're the chairman of the Federal Reserve. There's literally only one thing you can do.
Where we turn our attention, there are going to be some big clashes, but none bigger. Mustafa Yilmaz there for Turkey. He almost beat Magnus Carlsen, but otherwise, we know it's India versus USA, but there are medal contenders outside of those teams.
Few games, but all of these players can start with either hand, as they say. And Rook B8, 7 games in my database, and you say, well, the system A6, less common than E6 or DC, but very reputable. There's Alexander Grishuk there in the background, stoic as ever. And
this match right now, all 4 boards seem to promise Rook on A8, and we already have a material imbalance because Black has a bishop pair and White's got those 2 knights. It looks very nice on this board because the King's Indian setup, there are some...
4 are extremely well prepared, and this is a French line that how bad is this if Ding plays Queen A5, and why is that move so important to find?
Well, Queen A5 check. It came to Gukesh because Gukesh looked like the best player ever in that game.
Subtle and positional enough that I'm not 100% sure.
Where is in control of this board?
Look, to get the obvious out of the way and also so I can actually...
is possible, and if you can get a queen into a square like F3 for Black, then you're going to go and try...
The Netherlands are playing Slovenia today, and this is a Queen's Gambit accepted, and while I appreciate there's still a lot of theory...
up, at least before the Olympiad, but he's had a topsy-turvy Olympiad. Some of the games have been very fine from him. Then he had that game against Serrana where both sides were just missing things you wouldn't expect from players of their caliber.
That top position for themselves. And honestly, Robert...
2-time Women's World Blitz champion. She's nearly a Grandmaster, almost there, and we hope that she will become a...
We left off. She found C takes D5, did Marowert. And oh,
ooh. That's a nasty move. Love those exchange sacks in the center. Going to B3, that forces the rook into a passive square. Black's pawns are restricting White's pieces, and later, Danya, we'll see.
This is very concrete. We also have to show everybody what happened in the last 10 moves, Robert, because we went through several lifetimes of adventures.
I also want to talk about the matchup between G4, Bishop G5, just going right after that queen, and that E3 pawn is tender. Is that where you're going?
It's absolutely where I'm going, and I think that without the computer, one of which is Bishop G5, Robert, Rook E6, Rook F8, and how easy is this to miss? Rook E2 wins the queen. No, it doesn't. Boom. Rook D5, and Black wins the game.
Normally, Black could say...
I don't know what I'm supposed to say in this situation. Noterbeck is going to play Rook H4 and instantly make a draw after this move.
Oh my goodness.
You cannot believe that this is happening, but it is.
And it just feels like waiting for the handshake.
His car keys, getting his wallet ready.
Everything he brought with him to the game is about to go into the pockets. Position he had, and you see he again is looking up at Abdusattorov. Come on, man, this game is just equal now. See it, Rook B6, a rook trade is offered, and you could tell as he looked there, his handshake, the draw is offered and agreed. A big save for Uzbekistan, a good result on paper for Team China, but not given how that game was going. I mean, Abdusattorov took way too many risks.
One who is preparing for the final blow. Let's rewind a little bit. Why does Black's position look so good, Robert? Why?
I think actually...
But I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Gentlemen.
Because when the pawn went up to C5, this Queen A3 idea, Danya, I would call it brilliant. Because...
Takes 8 CD? Knight C7? Oh my gosh. What?
Yeah,
okay, so let's plunge in.
Can it just take on A8 as well? I mean, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, there's concrete chances for an endgame advantage, as you're indicating, Robert. White has to tread very carefully. D4...
The fact that he's spending time right now... it does concern me that he blundered something, but he may also be thinking, do I exchange rooks now? Rook takes b1. You can afford to do that because it's Mickey Adams. That one also looks even. So Luke, and Daniel, I do think that with the king on g1, you see the move rook e1 is what's called for, not an easy move to make. I just think that the trend of the game is clearly going in Wei's direction.
Yeah, and we need to rewind
The best decisions, but it looks like he's erred along the way. And right now for black, you should probably defend your bishop. But the question is how to do that best. White at some point does want to line up bishop d3, which threatens checkmate, but also stops the c-pawn in its tracks. So maybe there is hope here for Wang Yue. He's worth down India. That's the big if. It's a huge question.
Ooh, I'm looking e4 here, Robert. Wait a second. Wait, e4 in this position. Is that a game changer, or am I missing something?
Oh, what a lovely tactical idea by you. If the knight takes on e4...
I beat the blue arrow.
You didn't even create it.
His pawn to f5. Fabi indeed brought his queen to e2, leading to an exchange. Another one, black's king stepping up to the plate. Not because it wanted to, it had to. And queen takes c5. I got more pawns than you.
F7, we'd be talking about a different evaluation, but here black has an isolated pawn, actually 3 of them. White has only 1 isolated pawn, the pawn a5, but that pawn is less relevant. I mean, the heart of black's position could come under fire.
And
progress, the white king at some point, especially if the rooks came out the board, you could see an avenue for it to slither h1. The knight hop to h5. You can't take it because queen g1's mate, and the knight gets into g3 with check.
Oh, man. And I'm surprised this already reached a crisis point for Java here. He made some inaccuracies, which we don't have time to unpack. Fabi, Nepo, very similar. Put the king on the square of the bishop, and it's over immediately. Knight f1, knight e3, zigging and zagging. Queen
matchup. We see that maybe a slight...
Any thinking GM, I think, would play, because you're trying to go queen f5 and set up knight h4. You're going after that construction with black's king on h7. So these small swings, we got to put them aside and just focus on
quality. Black has the best pawn on the board on d2, but as you're showing, there are all sorts of tactics here where black can give the queen for the rook. They're looking at the position, all the tactics. The players, they...
this match if they play for gold. So Fabi might be aware of, say, how is Gukesh, so good? What makes him so good? It's actually pretty simple. He's very good at finding the best move in the position. Significant. The world champion, thanking his lucky stars that he is millions of miles away and potentially forever unattainable himself. And it can slide up to h3. That's a dead end. Fabi has to play queen e8.
And down here, there's another problem piece. The h5 pawn will likely...
This is the 40th move. The move that has been talked about, written about, that has featured so many blunders. But Gukesh... this was a clutch win at an important moment for a struggling Wesley So.
Okay, so let's bring that board up so that everyone can see the finishing touch. There's a knight on h8. All of black's pawns are unhealthy, whereas white's pawns are all together in one island. And you see Wesley, you can tell here, there, he stops the clock.
Wesley looking back. You see that, boys?
Well, it's huge for Team USA. Wesley So gets the job done. Such an exceptional player. As you said, he'll be back tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm here with Grandmaster Wesley So, who won today, although the match is still very much in the balance. When you woke up this morning, did you feel like USA still controlled its own destiny for the gold medal?
Well, I thought it's very unlikely. I mean, I would be very happy with a bronze medal, just to get any medal, 4th medal, but 5th medal. There's no medal, unfortunately, because we've been in the back foot of things. The problem is the Olympiad is becoming very tough to win, and you kind of need to achieve almost perfection in order to win it. And we finally got our best lineup, but we started really poorly. That blunder against Ivanchuk really cost us dearly. I mean, if I won that game, then maybe we have very good chances for a gold. But I saw Ray was losing, so I thought 2-2 wasn't sufficient, and I blundered the match away in Ukraine. And that's the way it is, because you can't need like 20 points or at least 19 to even fight for the gold medal.
But you have a chance at 19 at the time of this interview. You need Fabi to hold on board 1 and then to win again tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. If we can get 2-2 today, it'd be a miracle. The problem also, Fabiano and Levon has been carrying this team. entire tournament long, and it's simply not fair for them. Not fair to them to ask to do that every single game. I mean, Fabi almost needs to win every single game in order for us to have a chance for bronze medal. And unfortunately, maybe he over pushed today. I thought he had a fine position, but I think he was just too, he was playing for a win with white and black. Yesterday he was also winning. He can't really ask for more. But I mean, if we get 2-2 today, it'd be a miracle. I mean, really hope.
Yeah, you brought up the Ivanchuk mistake. I wasn't going to bring that up, but is it still on your mind a little bit?
Well, it's just sad because one blunder, then you have to wait another 2 years to fight for the gold medal. It's simply the way it is. I mean, also, we raised a great player, but we finally had our momentum going. We have our perfect net lineup, but it's a bit too late. But I'm very proud of my teammates. I mean, it's really unfortunate that Hikaru doesn't play in the Olympiad anymore. I mean, I'm willing to give him my spot if he wants. Yeah, I think if Hikaru played in India 2 years ago instead of Sam, or if he played here instead of Ray, and all those respect to them, but I think we would have won gold quite easily. So,
wow.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that that Hikaru has his own reasons, but I think,
That's like
we still have a chance. I mean.
Shades of Pal Benko giving up his spot to Fischer and the candidates there. I don't think anybody wants you to give up their spot. But last question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to.
You brought up Nakamura. Has he been in contact with the team in any way during this tournament?
No. Okay. Well, he makes videos about us. That's his contact. I mean, I have nothing personal against him. I just think we would have won gold very easily if he decided to play this year or previously.
Fascinating insights, and I think you're selling yourself short. I think you still have a chance for a gold, but Wesley So will be happy with any medal.
Fourth medal. I don't think. Well, it's kind of my fault blundering to Ivanchuk, but I think. I'm also playing like shit the entire tournament, pretty much. As I said, Fabi and Lebon has been carrying the team all day long.
I've known you for 10 years. I've never heard you curse. We'll see if that makes it on the air. USA men and USA women both in line for possibly a medal. First time since 2008 that would have happened. Wesley, get some rest. You have an 11 a.m. game tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
We thought at some point where his victory was a foregone conclusion and Wang Yue was going to be the intriguing game, but the other way around.
Ronin and Vida Gujarati, that one looks like it's heading towards a balance, a draw. So Danya, as we look here, I mean, Fabi's just down 2 pawns to me.
And in terms of the
on board 2, but Danya, as you look at the other boards, USA, they should be quite happy. I think she's actually passed both Harika and Vaishali in rating.
I'm going to head on over to this match. You share my opinion. It's funny, but all the static disappeared from my headphones. Like, wow, the world is listening. So the experiment that stuck with me is 2 researchers are carrying a big, a piece of furniture down the street.
Where I see 2 black pass pawns, 1
with check, white loses the full piece and is lost. Instead, Lemieux played d5, giving up the bishop, banking instead on his pawns. He was losing in this position, but the win was not easy. He sends the pawn forward. White sends the pawns forward. Wait, what is... Well, Lemieux was winning here too.
Okay, but look at the moves that are required from him. Yeah, he had to give up the b pawn and try to play b4. Vidit needs to hold this game for Team India. He knows that Arjun... And I just saw Levon shake his head. He knows...
I think behind him is the forlorn expression of Arshak Petrosian, who is an Armenian GM, an elder statesman, and also Peter Leko's father-in-law, watching his...
And you see these 2 players, I mean, they're still going at it. They know that they're...
I think it's winning, but not easy. And a queen trade can be forced, Robert. Rook e1 forces a queen trade, because queen g2, there's queen e4. Let's say queen g5 takes, rook a1, white...
It doesn't matter how you get it done in the 10th round of the Olympiad, as long as you win.
You gotta reach the finish line. You can crawl on one leg to the finish line. Was erased because any element of tactics was erased, and the win, as I said, becomes mechanical. Just follow the algorithm, win the a-pawn, and 2800 definitely can do that. His foot off the gas pedal, never took his grip off the position. Lenier sacked the exchange. It wasn't enough. And rook takes h3 will seal the deal.
It has been played, so speaking of exchange sacrifice, and there's the handshake. And Arjun Erigaisi, I believe, just secured India the gold medal.
Wow, I'm here with two of the most important members of the Indian team. We have the captain, Grandmaster Srinath Narayan, and we've also got star player, Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi, who won again. He's got 9 out of 10. I must say this is going to be a really interesting interview because it's not quite a winner's interview, although it is the absolute closest thing you could possibly have to one. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk with the winner today. Arjun, you won again. You've got 9 out of 10. Your captain has played you every single round. Are you tired yet?
No, I'm not. In general, I think I have pretty high energy levels, so I'm fine.
You beat USA, you beat Lenier and Dominguez, and is this the hottest streak of your entire life in chess?
Unbeaten, it could be this one, yes.
I think there was probably no doubt you were going to play the lineup that you played today. We all know that Arjun can beat 2,500s and 2,600s with no problem. Did you think going into the day you needed him to beat a 2,700?
I was confident. Arjun had defeated Dominguez the last time we played in the 2022 Olympiad. I think it was a pretty equal matchup between USA. I felt like we could push in our white games in 1 and 3, and in our black games, I think they could push. And I think that's kind of how it turned out. But I must confess, I'm a bit surprised at 3 decisive results. Usually it doesn't happen in matchups between such strong teams. But crazy result, I think.
Well, let's talk about the tournament situation. India has never won team gold in an over-the-board Olympiad. You're on 19 match points. China won today, so they're on 17. You've not technically clinched, although the bull pulse is looking really good. I mean, it would take, I don't know, some sort of apocalyptic event. So how are you going to keep your team focused tonight in such a strange mathematical situation?
I think they are all professionals. I'm sure they're going to approach tomorrow as well with the same professional routine, the same professional intensity. And not a lot is going to change in terms of that. Of course, there will be a little bit of feel-good, a feeling of elation, but it's still not job complete yet. I think we still have one more game to go. And we'll come back with the same intensity. We will put the same kind of effort and the same kind of pressure on our opponents.
And we'll just throw it back to Arjun for one more question. Right now, you're in place for an individual gold medal on your board. The only player, I think, in the Olympia with a higher performance rating is your teammate, Gukesh, and maybe there's somebody else in there that snuck in there. Is it going to be hard to focus on the game tomorrow when you've got all these accolades? By the way, maybe you could make 2,800 tomorrow. I mean, there's so much going on in your game tomorrow. Is it going to be hard to focus?
No, like he said, we are all professionals, and so the focus will be just on tomorrow's game, and not think about anything else. And it's good to have that cushion, but the focus will be just on the game.
I can see it in your face. Well, there you have it. More than 1 billion Indians are not going to sleep tonight because they want to wake up early. Tomorrow's morning, remember, it starts early, and maybe it's just as well. The nerves won't have time to build up. But India on the brink of their first ever team gold medal in an over-the-board Olympiad. Good luck to you both tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Of difficult rounds in the tournament, but Slovenia...
They're not better than the USA and Uzbekistan, who trail them. So you look at these teams, India, of course, at the top.
With this, Robert, there is one result that isn't a 2.5. This really is a lot of fun. Kazakhstan and India on 17 match points. The United States and Poland on 16.